Hey everyone, it's Teddy, aka JamesKisau on MTGO, coming to you on Final Fantasy release day. I brought my wizard hat, which I'm now going to take off, because I feel like the secondhand embarrassment is going to make for tough watching for everyone. And wow, this is one of the biggest standard releases I can remember. I played in paper last night, people were opening packs. I opened one pack. Oh, this isn't even it. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, nothing notable showed up, but someone opened a go-go next to me, and that was cool. Anyways, people are excited about this set, and I think people are also saying that, fortunately, it doesn't seem to have anything too busted outside of one card, which I will talk about because it is included in the list today. And to that end, it wasn't super easy to find cards to put in the Grixis Control shell, but that has never stopped me before on these release week videos. I'll just pretty much run anything, even if it's clearly not legacy power level. If it's in our colors and has some kind of interesting resource generation or interaction, I'll try it out, because evaluating cards is extremely difficult, and sometimes you never really know how something works in practice until you're actually out there doing it. Theory and practice tends to be very incongruent in Magic the Gathering, since there are so many variables, especially in a format with so many different ways your hands could play out, and since the Grixis Control deck has so many random options and interactions, you really don't know how it's going to play out until you're in it. If you're a returning watcher of the channel, you know how these release week videos work. I try and keep the shell of my deck pretty much as close to stock as possible, and then I remove anything that's a flex slot, like Narset, Nimble Obstructionist, and for this video, Kaito, even though I don't consider Kaito a flex slot, but there was a lot of kind of top end stuff that I wanted to try out, so running without Kaito this time, and then I just put a bunch of new cards in their place. So I figure there's so many cards I want to try out for this video that we'll just go in order talking about all of them. And we'll start over in the lands. Over here, we have Lindblom, Industrial Regency. It enters tapped and it adds a red. I talked about this for the Dragonstorm release video as well, and lands that only make red are pretty dangerous in Grixis Control, since it is definitely the most tertiary color of the three. And I never really stuck with Quarry Mountain Monastery for that reason, even though the effect attached to it was quite powerful. This one feels a little bit worse than Quarry Mountain Monastery because A, it enters tapped, which is pretty rough, but B, the effect attached to it doesn't really generate that much value. It's 2 and a red for creating a 0/1 black wizard creature token. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. That's pretty cool. I like being able to gradually wear down the opponent. It was only recently when Bowmasters came out that I kind of got used to faster clocking, because I was used to Baleful Strix kind of reliably getting in for 1 point a turn. So I do like this card in theory. We'll see how it plays out. It might just be hamstrung too much by entering tapped, but being able to make a 0/1 that kind of Deathrite Shamans the opponent, not really, but kind of does something like a Deathrite impression. We'll see how it plays out. The land I'm more excited about is Midgar, though. Not only does it make black, which is a more valuable color for the deck than red, but the sorcery attached to it, 2 and a black for a reactor raid, you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. So that's a 2-for-1 right there. It'd be pretty cool to get a 2-for-1 and then also make a land drop. That has expressive iteration energy. It's very easy to cast at 2 and a black. And not to mention, the deck has more expendable creatures and artifacts than ever before, thanks to cards like Tamiyo creating clues, Orcish Bowmasters creating army tokens, and yeah, I guess that's about it. But all the same, I'm really excited to see how this one does. The blue land just did not seem pertinent enough. It's actually probably right up here. Yeah, Jadur, the aristocratic capital, for 6, 4 blue, target opponent mills half their library, so it's like a traumatize. That's actually kind of interesting, but milling has never really been a win con for us, and is often outright dangerous in Legacy when you can mill someone into very powerful graveyard value. Alright, let's move on. There wasn't much in the 1-drop slot, but I'm going to try out Louis Sue's Sacrifice for 1 blue. It's kind of a stealth 1 blue, though. It's not really 1 blue. You can sacrifice a legendary creature or pay 2 as an additional cost. So in the traditional build, that just means Tamiyo, but in this build, we have quite a few legendaries. Well, I'll get to them, but here's Gogo, Sephiroth, Emet-Selch, Vivi, Kuja, and Kefka, so I don't know, maybe it'll work out. However, you'll find that this card is quite a bit worse than Nimble Obstructionist For 3, you can counter an activate ability, triggered ability, so that's the nimble text, or non-creature spell. So there's a negate also on this, which is pretty interesting. It's a pretty versatile spell. I just don't know if the cost is worth it. And also it can be interacted with traditionally, unlike Nimble Obstructionist. Doesn't draw you a card like Nimble Obstructionist. It's nothing like Nimble Obstructionist, but it's a new card, so we're going to try it out. There was also nothing in the 2-drop slot, so let's move on to the 3-drop slot. We got Go-Go, Master of Mimicry. Shout out Final Fantasy VI. That game is sweet. One of the few I've actually played. I've played 6, 7, 9, Tactics Advanced, and I've also played 5 and 4, that's right. So I've kind of actually played a lot of Final Fantasy games, and I know a lot about Final Fantasy VIII, but I've never played it. Okay, anyways, Go-Go. 2 and a blue for a 2/4, pretty solid stats. And then for X and tap, you can copy target, activate, or triggered ability you control X times. So I figure this is most likely going to be activated for 2 and tap, and then we can copy Bowmaster triggers, Tamiyo trigger, I guess, or activate abilities too. So yeah, it could be copying Tamiyo's +2 and giving every creature attacking me -2. I don't know. I'm thinking like the weakest use cases. I feel like it'll be better used for something that I'm not thinking of right now, but it will just like come up during the game and be pretty sweet. And we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to see how this one does. It also pitches to Force of Will, which is cool. On to something that might actually see Legacy play, maybe. Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier, 2 and a black for a 3/3. Already, like, maybe not the greatest stats, but people don't play Lightning Bolt very much anymore, except for me. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. And like I said with Louis Sue's Sacrifice, we kind of have more expendable creatures than we ever had before. That being said, losing resources like that is not really in Grixis Control's interest, so I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I'm playing new cards. And then whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. And that's any creature, not just your creatures, your opponent's creatures. I think that's like Blood Artist. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved this turn, you can transform Sephiroth. Then it becomes Sephiroth One-Winged Angel, which is a 5/5 with flying. Great stats. And as this creature transforms, you get an emblem with the Blood Artist effect. And that's really powerful. That's just there for the rest of the game. Emblem's really difficult to interact with, if not impossible. And then whenever Sephiroth attacks you may sacrifice any number of other creatures, and if you do, draw that many cards. So you're kind of just like cycling through life. Very flavorful. Sephiroth is a very ends justifies the means type character, I would say. So this is very on flavor, and we can draw a bunch of cards, drain our opponents a bunch. We'll see how it works out. Now here's Emet-Selch. I thought this card actually looked pretty cool. 1 blue and a black for a 2/4 with Vigilance. And whenever it enters or attacks, draw a card and discard a card. We're seeing this on a lot of creatures, I feel like. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, shouldn't be that hard for Grixis Control, you can transform it into a 6/6 with Vigilance. And then during your turn, it's Yogg-Will. You may play cards from your graveyard, not cast, play. So fetch lands, and then also with the other Yogg-Will text, if a card or token would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, it gets exiled. So you don't just like keep playing the same card over and over. There has to be some limit to the madness. But yeah, we'll see if a 6/6 Vigilance with Yogg-Will attached to it can be any good. I think so. Alright, here's the one everyone's excited about. No, not Kolaghan's Command. I mean, I'm excited about that one. Vivi. It's a 1 blue and a red for a 0/3. And it might look weak to Lightning Bolt, but I feel like people aren't really going to play it out until they can protect it, because whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you put a 1/1 counter on Vivi, and then it deals 1 to each opponent. And then for 0, so you just, activate it whenever. You add X on it in any combination of blue or red, where X is Vivi's power, and it only happens during your turn and only once a turn. But yeah, I've seen some crazy stuff going on with Agatha's Soul Cauldron. If you get Vivi under a Soul Cauldron, all your creatures just like making insane amounts of mana. Yeah, I think this card will be Nadu-esque. However, it does lose to both red and blue blast, so it might not be as omnipresent as Nadu, and you don't get punished for targeting it, but you can get punished for trying to remove it with damage-based removal, thanks to the pseudo-prowess effect on it. And also similar to the Black Mage token created by Lindblom, because Vivi is a Black Mage. I think that's a really cool flavor they added. It will slowly deal damage over the course of the game. The Deathrite Shaman effect, as I was calling it. Okay, we're almost there. Here's Kuja. 2 black and a red for a 3/4. I like all this 4 toughness. It's pretty sweet. At the beginning of your end step, you create a Black Mage, and then if you control 4 or more wizards, you transform Kuja. Now, we have some wizards already, like Snapcaster Mage and Tamiyo. Oh, and Go-Go. And yeah, Emet-Selch, Vivi. So yeah, we got wizards. Kefka. So this might not be so hard. Nimble Obstructionist is also a wizard if you're playing a more traditional version of this deck and want to try out Kuja. And on the other side, this is a 4/6, and if a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, deals double that damage instead. That's pretty good, especially if we're going all Black Mage crazy with Lindblom and Vivi. So usually for the 4-drop bomb slot, I like to make those planeswalkers and not creatures, so they're not as susceptible to cards like Swords to Plowshares, Fatal Push, etc. But this one seems pretty good, especially since it triggers on your end step. And Poor Inoculus seemed very powerful since it triggers on your opponent's upkeep. They basically have a pretty small window to interact with it. This one, I guess, is technically even shorter since it happens on your end step and not their upkeep. So yeah, I could see this working out. Yeah, maybe next week there might be like a Black Mage Grixis Control deck in the works here, because I'm seeing some synergies with like Kuja, Vivi, Lindblom, but that's not what the release week video is for. Anyways, on to Kefka. Man, I'm getting really tired of Grixis representation in Magic lore. I feel like it's always the most deranged, tyrannical characters that get codified as Grixis. I feel like there needs to be more heroic Grixis representation, but here's Kefka, the most fucked up loony in Final Fantasy history, and it's Grixis. But that does mean we get to play it. It's 2 blue, black, and red, so 5-drop in the main board I know is kind of crazy, but this one does pitch to force. For a 4/5, great stats, and whenever enters or attacks, each player discards a card. Then you draw a card for each card type among cards discarded this way. So at the very least, you're cycling, but you might draw 2. Say you discard a land and your opponent discards like a Daze or something. And then for 8 mana, each opponent sacrifices a permanent of their choice, and then you transform Kefka, activate only as a sorcery. It doesn't say non-land permanent, so at the very least, you're probably picking off an opponent's land, which is pretty sweet. On the backside, it is a 5/7 with flying, and whenever an opponent loses life during your turn, you draw that many cards. The old fabled Lightning Bolt Ancestral Recall could be a reality with this card out, although I feel like if you're transforming Kefka, you're pretty much already winning. I think this is just a good way to cement your win at that point, because you can pretty easily just fly into Force of Wills at this point. Okay, cool. Over in the sideboard, I'm trying a couple cards out. One of them is Fire Magic. Pretty huge upgrade to Tremor. Like when I was growing up, Tremor was an acceptable sideboard option for elves and goblin strategies, and you just pay a red and deal 1 damage to each creature without flying. Now we got Fire Magic that does that, except it also hits creatures with flying, is an instant because Tremor is a sorcery, and scales. At the top end, I can pay 6 to deal 3 to each creature, which won't destroy Nadu, but I think it will destroy most other things. So yeah, it's a cool card to try out. Then there's Yuffie, which is 2 in a red for a 3/3, but it ninjutsus for 1 in a red, and when it enters, you gain control of target non-creature artifact for as long as you control Yuffie. Then you may attach an equipment you control to Yuffie. So, I mean, I could just like take a Kaldra, I suppose, and put Kaldra on Yuffie, really even up that Death and Taxes matchup. And then if they remove Yuffie with like Swords to Plowshares, at least the germ is still gone. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about trying this card out. I don't need to ninjutsu it. For just 1 more mana, you can cast it on curve. Taking the 1 ring sounds cool. I don't know. Seems really great. All right, that was a lot of cards. Thanks for bearing with me. I feel like I talked through most of what I'm expecting to see out of them this league. Now I would beseech you to check out the Patreon to help support me and the channel. Or if you can't do that, liking, commenting, subscribing goes a long way. We're closing in on 2,000 subs, at which point there will be an intro for the channel, and that'll be cool. Okay, cool. I'm ready to play. Let's do it. Welcome to the Final Fantasy release week video. Starting off with a no lander. So mulligan that. Alright, I mean there are no Final Fantasy game cards in this hand or games, but I'm gonna keep bottom basic mountain. Opponent's also taking a mulligan, so that's kinda cool. Starting this on somewhat even footing, I see. And I'm pretty reluctant to cast Ponder on turn 1. I think I would rather Surveil. I mean, I could just like Ponder, look for a replacement blue card, I guess, but it doesn't seem that good. Planar Nexus. Manifold Key. Alright. I don't think any of our cute cards are really going to work here, but that Yuffie in the sideboard might be pretty good. Sewers. Land number... I think I'm pretty likely to hit a land at some point anyways. We kind of need action here. That's not bad. First things first, though, gotta get Bowmasters on board. Every point of life is very relevant. There's Urza's Tower, there's a Basalt Monolith. I feel like once they hit 4 mana, fighting over their mana is not really worth it, so we'll let them do that. And then, yeah, we'll deploy the Bowmasters here off a Badlands. Hit for 1. Untap. Thoughtseize, that's not bad. Your mana is so precious in this matchup that I think it's more likely I'll want to Lightning Bolt than Cantrip, which is funny. You don't often think of it like that. But I could make a land drop. That seems pretty important since I'm playing cards like Kefka. Well, yeah, more Bowmasters is pretty good. Do that. Thoughtseize. Take the One Ring. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way. I'm probably going to have to force Kozilek's Command too, just because it makes so many blockers and is going to make it very difficult to get across the line. It's also unfortunate they do not have a Ancient Tomb as part of their plan here. Well, I guess it depends what they do with the Kozilek's Command. If they just scry draw and remove Bowmasters, maybe I don't fight over it. But yeah, them making the spawns is pretty rough. Let's do that. Candelabra. Untapping Monolith. Untapping Tower. Playing Nexus, and then passing. Good. Next turn we're just gonna unload more damage by casting Bowmasters before damage here. And then probably bolting, which I guess would have to be off another Badlands, which is pretty funny. But there's no Narset in the deck, so I guess it doesn't hurt that much. Workshop. You know, I am going to hold the Bolt, actually, because Fleshraker could also halt a lot of aggression here. And that also lets me just get another Underground Sea here. And there's Lindblom. Alright, well, we're going to Mage Siege, probably. Then make a land drop. New card alert. This could be a problem, though, like, not holding up Bolt, if they cast Fleshraker here, would be pretty bad, but they look entirely flooded. Looks like Thoughtseize and Force of Will for once was good enough to get the job done here. We draw Force of Will. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is Exacties if they don't have any interaction. Wait, no, it's not. They'll go to 1. Woof. If I had one more non-creature spell. See, I guess I'm just holding still. God, that would have been so elegant. Nice. Manifold Key. Bolt. I want this trigger. Great. It's not usually how the matchup goes, but yeah, I mean, they hit 2 bombs in their top 12 cards and a lot of mana. People talk a lot about mid-range and control having wrong half of the deck problems, but combo decks run into it a lot too. If half your deck is action and half your deck is mana, sometimes even more than half of the deck is mana to really ensure that you're doing your thing fast as heck. So let's take 2 Meltdowns and Yuffie. Fire Magic is really interesting, just wiping a bunch of spawns. It might not be bad if they like end step Kozilek's Command to set up. It's not great. We'll see if there's room. We definitely want the consigns. Thoughtseize. Probably Opposition Agent. I usually bring it in against Urza's Saga decks, but I've been finding it less useful recently against these decks, especially on the draw. So let's see. What are my cuts? Cling to Dust, Reanimate, Sephiroth, I suppose. Wait, that's not true though. This is going to be so good against the, it counteracts the Fleshraker, which is really sweet. If they're using their spawns, that is. Maybe Go-Go is a little slow here. Go, too slow. That's probably going to be true for a lot of matchups. Maybe Go-Go's not that good. It's not the point of this video. Keep the sacrifice. Don't need the basic mountain. And then Kuja is probably also on the slow side, but it deals damage, and that's pretty good. Oh, how about Shielder's Edict? I'll keep one just in case they go Ugin and I can't counter it. Yeah, I think this is decent. Kafka pitch to force. Thoughtseize. If I find a red, Yuffie can like steal a one ring. We'll try it out. Workshop go. No Candelabra. No key. There's my red mana. Thoughtseize you. Take a Karn? Or Kozilek's Command can exile Yuffie pretty easily. But their mana's very slow. I wonder. Yuffie can pressure Karn as well. I think I'm going to take the command because it's what kind of ramps them into anything else here. I might not be ready for a one ring though if they cast it this turn. So if they top deck like a Lotus Petal or something, but no, they're just going to Ancient Tomb and pass. Bolt. That's good. Card number one dealt with. There's the Petal. And a Saga. Ooh. Concern. The one ring. Yep. Well, that resolves. No tap. Maybe they tap if I brainstorm. They'll tap when I Yuffie. Yep. Okay, not much to get excited about here. I think I'd prefer to have the island over the swamp. Double bolt though. I wonder if I'm supposed to let them keep this one ring. Nah, definitely not. Go Yuffie. Take the one ring. I don't have any equipment, so I'll just say no. Same outcome either way. And now if they don't draw more mana, fast mana that is, Grim Monolith is pretty fast, but yeah, we're kind of hoping they pass up on a construct and try to cast Karn here, or they can do both. Force that. Pitch Kefka. Another Karn. They're gonna plus. I feel like double bolting Karn here is very acceptable. Oh wait, no, sorry, I can attack Karn and then bolt it. And then the one ring turns on. Vivi. Attack Karn. Cast Bolt. Activate the one ring, draw two. Not seeing too much here. Should I hold up Bolt? Or do I play Vivi? Really start investing? I think I need to hold up Bolt. If I don't have to do that, I can just Mage Siege. It's not bad. There's their construct. And I'm guessing they'll get a key of some sort here. Yep. Tower. Untapping the monolith. What is your last card? It's Fleshraker. I feel like I can really exploit this with Sephiroth. But it seems a little unwise. I have attacks if I just bolt the construct too. I don't know. I feel like I really should spend my mana. I could just Mage Siege. That is something I could just do instead. I don't have to decide what to bolt right now. Generally, you do want to take out Fleshraker though, but if I just rip like Meltdown off the one ring, I think I'm gonna Mage Siege. Because this is a lot of value. It's my very own Fleshraker. Pretty much. Kolaghan's Command. Oh my goodness. Alright. Tap this. Play Vivi. Do that. Grab my Badlands. And then, I'm not doing this very well. Bolt, construct. Yeah. Boom, boom. And then I think I attack, or do I ponder first? If I ponder, I feel like it really kind of puts the pressure on. And it might actually block, especially if I don't shuffle. Can't cast Bowmasters, so I will shuffle. Just a land there. Okay. So I could add blue, red right now. Blue, red. Cast Ponder. Looking for Bolt. We don't hit. I'll shuffle. Bowmasters. Okay. There's probably a better way to do all that, unfortunately. I think I screwed that up. No block. Alright. Well, if I can survive, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Yeah, that was cool. New cards. Alright, here we go for match number 2. Shout out Drayton. I just faced them in the modern queues, playing a little Jund. And they pointed out, hey, this isn't Legacy. So I made sure to be like, yeah, this is the right format this time. I will keep 7. Maybe I can show off some Sephiroth here alongside this Forced Thoughtseize hand. Although I will say I don't think Sephiroth is a creature that can win the game on its own. Yeah, asking how the Jund list went. 3-2, of course. It's the most classic Jund result. All Jund goes 3-2. Alright, we're up against the lands. As much as Lava Spur Boots is concerning, I wonder if do I need to force Lava Spur Boots? I see that Dark Depths, it's scary. Malevolent Rumble is a lot more value positive, of course. They could have a really fast Merit Lage here, but it'd be on the back of Malevolent Rumble doing that, finding the Thespian stage and other things. I'm gonna take the Rumble and just accept that. I will lose to a Merit Lage having haste. And thank goodness it was. Mox Dime number 1. I think taking Malevolent Rumble is the right take there. It can mill over Life from the Loam. There's just a lot of scary things it does. Ditching Boseiju, playing Yavimaya, casting the boots, decision point. I'm not going to counter it, but I feel like there is a lot of arguments for countering it. Let's play Ponder. There's Vivi. I don't know how good Vivi's going to be. Oh, but I can pitch it to Force and then draw Brainstorm next turn. I think I'm severely underrating Vivi right now. Saga, that's really good. Alright, I could just cast Sephiroth here. Definitely pays out all my future removal. It's not going to be able to stand up to the constructs at the end of things. They'll be 5-5, which is crazy. So maybe playing Vivi is just the truth here. I don't know if that's true. They can put together Merit Lage pretty easily, thanks to Saga. That was a very good draw. They discarded the Boseiju. I don't think this is going to be strong enough by any stretch. I think I need to Brainstorm. Oh boy. I'm screwed. Jesus. 3 lands off your Brainstorm. That is the opposite of what you want to see. But I definitely didn't sacrifice my Cling to Dusts when I built this list, so it's not entirely hopeless. But yeah, if they can pad out their token creatures with constructs, I don't think there is too much hope for us, but we can try. Do like that. I mean, I'll keep it. I don't have much to do except cast Sephiroth, right? I mean, I could also cast Vivi. It can someday stand up to a construct. Maybe. Probably not. But yeah, Sephiroth just being a 3/3 that can't even cantrip because I don't have a creature to sacrifice. It'd be like investing in a Blood Artist that's also a 3/3. But yeah, giving up on Force seems pretty dangerous. This is just what I've got. Or I could hold up Edict. Maybe they don't make a construct and instead like crop rotation and try to Merit Lage, but that makes absolutely no sense. I don't think they would do that. Oh boy. Yeah, my gut is saying just cast Sephiroth here. But maybe I should be casting Vivi. Alright. Yeah, I don't think casting Sephiroth will really do anything. I think I just Edict. There's that. Okay, they're making a construct, so we definitely Edict here. It's unfortunate to have to use that. Not on Merit Lage, but we don't really have a choice. I'm guessing they'll get an expedition map here. Yeah, I think we can expect Merit Lage very soon. We're also just like getting hit for 6 this turn at minimum. Although maybe they don't want to equip if they want to activate the map at the end of my turn. But they also have Ghost Quarter. That's crazy. So they can do it all. And now I can't really expose my basic mountain because Ghost Quarter is very good against that. Alright. What am I going to do now? Brainstorm again. Hopefully it's better than the last one. I mean, there's Cling, but yeah, this is just not going to work out, I don't think. They can Hasty Merit Lage next turn. The only thing that will save me is if I hit Brazen Borrower with this Cling. And even then, like, I'm still getting hit for quite a bit. I'll just play Sephiroth, whatever. Although probably playing Vivi would have made more sense. Chump blocking with Sephiroth. I think something's wrong with this picture. There's something kind of wrong with this picture, folks. Why is Sephiroth chump blocking a construct token? At least give it Death Touch. Just asking for egregious power creep. Yeah, there's no way we were going to win this game. Sweet. Okay. Meltdown. No, Yuffie. They have some artifacts that are pretty good. I mean, even taking a Mox Diamond isn't the worst thing in the world. It's a nice burst of damage if I'm getting held back by Mazavith. Definitely want Opposition Agent, though. And Consign and Surgical. We'll see if there's room. Because, yeah, we're trimming Reanimate, Lightning Bolt. Definitely Sephiroth. Probably, maybe Go-Go, maybe not Go-Go. Maybe Go-Go can stay this time. I think it depends more on my blue card count. It's quite robust. So yeah, I'm gonna cut Go-Go. I feel like for this one, it's like, if something fun happens in game 1 with Go-Go, that will be great, but unfortunately, I think it's like the Rock Curse Rakshasa from the Dragonstorm release video. I'm just citing it out every single matchup. Just can't imagine actually when this is good. Why did I pick it? I should have picked a different card. I mean, it's cool. I think that's why I picked it. It's cool. Oh wait, there's no Brazen Borrower? I wasn't even drawing to an out. Wow. So yeah, we're extra soft. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work out, folks. But we'll try. Yeah, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, I wasn't thinking about lands. I don't think I was thinking about lands when I made this list. Take Yuffie over Probably Emet-Selch. I don't know, Emet-Selch actually seems really sweet. And then Vivi seems really good too as like a way to deal damage outside of combat. How about... No, that seems good too. Countering Chapter 2 of Saga has become pretty important these days with all the new interactions and rulings. It can be a Bowmasters though. Okay, here we go. Sand's pretty cursed. It has an out to Merit Lage, it has Force, has Brainstorm, has Meltdown, has like everything we want except lands. Although the land that it does have is basic. So let's try it out. I do feel like this Brainstorm is going to hit land. I don't know why. The last one hit 3 lands, so I feel like it's just one of those days. You can feel it. Depending on how turbo their Merit Lage is, though, like having Meltdown to clear constructs is quite helpful. It will not clear Eldrazi spawns, though, which is something else to consider, and why Brazen Borrower stock has kind of gone up even higher. Ooh, no exploration, that's good. Alright, land off the top would make this nice, beautiful. Now we're just chilling. Maybe I should play Baleful Strix in that case. Yeah. I also really don't like that they're playing Ghost Quarter. It used to be more fringe, but I feel like now I always see Ghost Quarter. There's Lindblom. If I need a red source, it's not a very good red source in a pinch, unfortunately, since, oh god, it's happening. They did not hit stage. They don't have good choices either. They can choose a legendary land they already have, or a legendary land they already have. It chose Yavimaya. I need to get this spawn token out of here. Kuja. Alright, cast Brainstorm. Bowmasters will do. Yeah, Kuja. Not happening yet. And I might even mill it away. I think I want to cast Black Mage Siege at some point. Or Mage Siege. But yeah, we'll see if I need to mill Kuja or not. And I know it will cost me an army token here, but I want to keep them off this mana. I think this attack is greedy. Although I think I would just force if they cast Lava Spur Boots. Because that would mean they're extending... I think that would take at least one Mox Opal, right? I mean Mox Diamond. Wasteland, uh-oh. My red mana. Oof, I think I'll force. I don't want them getting another token. Yep. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to surveil over Kuja. Unfortunately. Maybe I'll reanimate it later. Alright, we're kind of hoping they just go for it here and I can Edict. Another Wasteland. That's good, actually, because I don't want them hitting Lindblom. Loam? Oh, God. Jesus Christ. What a nightmare. I need Graveyard Hate. Ponder? I got 2 Clings, 2 Surgicals. Let's see it. No luck. Shuffle. There's no lands there either. There's my basic mountain, but with their Loam engine running, I don't think we're going to be in good shape here. Thespian stage. Wasteland. Loaming those back, yep. Alright. How about it? Graveyard Hate? Bowmasters. How do I see this working? Maybe if they spend too long trying to make this Merit Lage and I just attack them down, I think that means, I think Bowmasters will deal more damage over the course of the game than the 0-1 Wizard. Ottawa, terrifying. Ghost Quarter. Oh no. Loam. Yep. Cast Bowmasters. Disruptor Flute. Oh man. I guess I should activate the Scalding Tarn then, huh? Or do I just not care about Meltdown? Ooh, what if they name Shieldred's Edict? That'd be insane. But pretty smart. Yeah, I guess my mountain's not safe anyways. Because they have Ghost Quarter and Loam. Like, eventually it'll just work out for them, so whatever. They might name, like, Kaito or something. They do name Kaito. Not in the deck. Okay. How crazy would it be to Mage Siege and play Lindblum and then not attack with Strix? Because I guess the one damage would get made up for eventually. And I think it would cost probably a little too much mana to Otawara or Boseiju this Baleful Strix out of the way while also making Merit Leech. That's not even true though. But to also cast and equip Lovesper Boots, let's say everything's perfect and they play Ancient Tomb. Oh wait, no, but then that's also Thespian Stage, so Exploration would have to be involved too. Yeah, there's not enough mana for all of it, so let's do it. It's gonna be close. I feel like I need Kolaghan's Command to get over the line here. Thespian Stage, Mox Diamond. Oh wait, I did all that math on the assumption that I would hold Strix back. Oh, now I have two. That's pretty good. Alright. It's not quite lethal though. They could go to 1. Edict, Meltdown for 0. I feel like I should definitely be casting these red spells whenever I have the chance. But they might wasteland me in the heat of the moment, so let's do that. Yep, we knew this was coming. Go ahead and Edict. Using the non-basics first. Ping. Excuse me. We'll just pretend like my last card is forced blue card, so I don't have to be embarrassed about losing to Lovesper Boots off the top. They're gonna auto-wire this wizard token. That's pretty smart. Because it is a lot of extra damage, I feel like. But I think we'll still get there. Well, we'll see. Is Meltdown for 0? I feel like it was more acceptable when I had the Black Mage out, but now it doesn't really make sense. Takes them off 1 mana. I'm kind of talking myself into this, because their mana is very gated. Sure. I don't want to melt for 2. Gotta keep my Strix. Taking it to game 3. Lindblum. Yeah, this card's growing on me. Too bad it makes red. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. Look at all the red cards in this list. I can't believe I did that without any graveyard hate. I just happened to bring enough pressure, which is very lucky. On the draw, I do wish I had gotten to Surgical at some point, because now I don't know if they have choke or what. Kind of in a tough spot here, but yeah, again, I'm just struggling to see any of these cards that I would want more. I really only want 1 Thoughtseize on the draw, though. I guess I could take more Bowmasters. Having a lot of pressure and going wide is very important. Sure. I see Surgical Extraction. I kind of need to keep this. Then we'll see if Emet-Selch can grind us into tomorrow. Exploration, not good for me. Do you also have a saga? No, just Thespian stage. Oh yeah, I forgot. If they have a super fast Merit Lage, that's also a problem. There's just so many things you need to watch out for now against this deck. It would at the very least be a little bit nutty of a draw. Rumble. Ooh, there's a Dark Depths there. I hope they don't take it. But I'm sure they will. Oh, they took Saga? I could extract Depths and try and fight the Saga, which is not easy either. But yeah, I just really can't beat a Merit Lage. I don't have Brazen Borrower. Pithing Needle. Well, I was going to Surveil. I guess I'll just get a Swamp now. What's the name? Polluted Delta. Can still be a forest. Let's extract Depths, see what's going on. I said no? Oh, they had one in hand, that's why. Oof. That makes sense why they didn't take it. I don't see chokes. That's a Jerry step. Can still allow a construct to sail through. I mean, that is supposed to be reserved for Life from the Loam. How am I going to beat these constructs? And because they played Pithing Needle out, it's not going to be easy. There's Kuja. I really need this opposition agent, like really, really badly. So I feel like this will just be getting Basic Island, casting Bowmasters probably. I don't even think I can afford to target the Eldrazi spawn. Wasteland. Ooh, that's not good. Emet-Selch, pretty much nowhere near 14 cards in my graveyard, but I'm working on it. Okay, they're activating Saga. Playing Beseju. They're getting ready to copy their Saga, I see. Well, that's terrifying. Meltdown or bust. That's what I always say. And I really need the blocker, so gotta just target them. How am I gonna do this? Another surgical. I mean, I can go after Saga, and then Loam is less scary, because the scariest things Loam does, I suppose, is extracting Saga. Or, yeah, getting Saga and, Dark Depths combo. But if they just have their Forever Saga via Thespian stage, I mean, it will tie up a lot of their mana, but play Agent out. Really unfortunate they got their Pithing Needle, because if I could have just needled stage or Saga, I suppose. But yeah, stage really. Well, that would have been nice. How am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? And the way they stacked these triggers, I do have priority to extract Sagas as well, which is pretty great. They can't crop rotation to try and grab another one. Like, if I hit a Meltdown, I might have what it takes to tempo this. And they drew crop rotation, yeah, it's pretty rough. I guess I'll take, what, Lovespur Boots? Definitely don't want that in the mix for them. It would be really funny if I just need Expedition Map to play the game, though. I could map for Midgar. Try and make something happen with that. I think I'm going to take Mox Diamond. This tap land is just killing me, you know? Extract the Sagas. I mean, I still have an Endurance. That will defeat me pretty easily over time. But yeah, if I can get this thing out of here, don't know how I'm going to do that. Or I guess just overpower one construct per turn. They're kind of light on win cons. I think I'll block, right? Is that insane? don't think it's that crazy. It turns on the crop rotation in their hand, but what are they going to crop rotate for? I mean, they could crop rotate actually for Tabernacle. That doesn't help them. Mazavith, I guess. Caracas is a real pain in this deck. For this deck, I mean. Oh, man. I'm not going to get the chance to ever again. This is a real tough decision. But I really don't think any of their lands are that scary. Call me crazy. This also works me towards Emet-Selch. Flipping. Almost halfway there. 6 cards in my graveyard. Jesus. Okay, Midgar showed up on its own. Cast that. Discard Lindblum. And then Reactor Raid. Sacrifice this Orcish Bowmasters. We drew 2 lands. Not great. Maybe I should have just played Emet-Selch. I don't know. Sure, just play the tap land. Really got to find... Well, hold on. If I get Kuja out, and they don't find Caracas, which I kind of gave to them, though, because they have crop rotation. Kuja will make a chump blocker every turn, and they'll make 1 construct every turn. By my math, we'll be chilling. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command, that's really good. Okay. Gotta use Kolaghan's Command before I get Kuja online, I think. Okay, they put in Chapter 3 on the stack, so that means I need to do this now. Maybe I shouldn't have given up the Opposition Agent. I think it's fine, though. Are they going to Sajiri Step one of them? If they Sajiri Step to destroy target artifact when I don't destroy either of them, which would be very bad. So good. Why didn't I think of that until it was too late? I feel like that's always what happens. I always think of the line way too late. Alright, now it's back to looking for Meltdown. Gotta find that Meltdown. Sewers. Snapcaster Mage. Oh man. That's not good enough, right? Yeah, because they're 4/4s now. Oh me, oh my. I think it will have to be good enough, though. Let's see. Yeah, I can do it in blocks and it'll still work. Could really use a darn Meltdown, though. I know they're in there somewhere. Stage? Alright, cast Snapcaster Mage. Target Kolaghan's Command. And then block. And then Kolaghan's Command. Pay the ward. Okay. Now the constructs are balanced, so theoretically Kuja can keep up with this, right? Theoretically. Just play a couple legendaries. Gonna be so sad if this is the Meltdown. Oh, Brainstorm might have been pretty good too. But yeah, I just need... Oh, it's tapped? Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense they come in tapped. But Jukabog? Oh, come on, dog. Breath. Map. Block the big one with my creature that doesn't do anything, I guess. Strix is sick. Can I get a Meltdown? Kolaghan's Command is almost as good. Now we're kind of balanced on board here. That happens. Block, jump. Baleful Strix catching me up big time. Are they gonna get Caracas? Yep. Force of Will. Not super helpful. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. Oh god. Attack. They'll bounce it. I will cast it again. Oh wait, won't I control 4 wizards? Oh shit. I mean, they can still just Caracas it, but it was almost good. Construct. Loam. Are they gonna destroy my Mox Diamond? They can start just like wastelanding me a bunch. And we're behind again. I'm about ready to pack it up. Now I need to chump with Kuja. Just not finding a meltdown. Or wait, no, I just lose. Yeah, they can just bounce it. Well, it's kind of cool to see them like at least hanging. Mountain, Force Well, yeah, it was not happening. Here we go for round number 3. Hand is perfectly acceptable. That Caracas point in the last round is a very good point, because normally our deck just doesn't mind Caracas one bit. So you are kind of opening yourself up to getting got by Caracas by playing one of these creatures. But they're all pretty cool. Gonna take the Brainstorm. We're up against Blue-Black Reanimator. Still the best. I really did think that it was possible that Troll of Khazad-dûm would really limit its ability to play 2 colors. Wait, what was I thinking? 2 colors is nothing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. That's fine. They'll probably take Force, maybe? They've had 2 draw steps. I kind of need a land to stay in this. Yeah, they take Force. I think I will Surveil. Good enough. And then I'm gonna Brainstorm before playing the land, make them think that, although surveilling to the top is kind of sus, but we'll see. Maybe they'll still daze. They're thinking about it. There we go. Perfect. Play Midgar. It will do in a pinch, and now they're behind a land drop. They'll probably Ponder, I'm guessing. Oh, they play Tamiyo? Sure. Because they got Archon and Ponder still. Another good reason to take Brainstorm there is we don't want them to Brainstorm Archon back into their deck. Go! I think I cast Brainstorm here. Or I could play Strix. Yeah, I mean, if they daze me again, it's like not the biggest deal. Hit a land. What am I going to do with Go? Honestly, not sure. If they Fatal Push Baleful Strix, it is a good exchange for us. Ooh. Seems like they got something to do here. That's just another Ponder. And yeah, they couldn't do that before attacking since Ponder is a sorcery. But yeah, they have this Tamiyo Planeswalker. Not drawing towards Kaito. We'll have to figure out a different way to address this. I mean, Bowmasters in itself is a good way to disincentivize them from going for the ultimate. And I have 2 of them now. But let's Brainstorm. Oh man. I really want to reanimate that Archon. I feel like if I Kolaghan's command them, they'll probably drop the Archon. And that's when we strike. That's when we strike. Yeah. Even better if they play something out that I can shock, but I should probably just shock Tamiyo. Make them even less suspicious. That makes sense, right? Yeah, it makes like perfect sense. This is a brilliant idea. Alright, you discard and deal 2 there. I'm desperate. If only I had force backup. Alright, well, here we go. Reanimate that. Boom! Yeah! And then a Carcon kind of dunks on Atraxa. Unless they also hit, like, petty theft or something like that. That'd be rough. It'd be really nice to have force backup. And they're just trashing their entombs. I wonder if Atraxa is also in their hand and they were like, I don't want to discard that too, because they'll reanimate that one too. I don't know. Wasteland. Not going after my red. Oh, they're going after my open black. They might have Brainstorm. Well, I'll cast these anyways, I think. They didn't Brainstorm in response. They have Bowmasters, sure. Fatal Push my Strix. Alright, they're out of cards. So we'll go for lethal here. Yep. I mean, I don't really blame them for discarding the Archon. I really don't. It's like the most obvious line ever. But it definitely worked out for us there. Surgical. Triple Thoughtseize on the draw. Never feels good. But what am I cutting? Well, Go-Go, of course. Sephiroth. I'm going to keep that one in. The nickel and diming seems pretty solid here. Ironically, Kolaghan's command is also pretty poor in this matchup for pretty much the exact reason why you saw in the last game, but we were able to exploit it that time thanks to Reanimate. Doesn't normally happen. I also like trimming lightning bolts. You need a way to address Tamiyo, but we're bringing in 2 Red Blasts and 2 Fatal Push as well, so we should be able to address it when it matters. Gosh, all my bombs are like red now. If they try to fight me with Blue Blast, then... well, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, if only Kuja wasn't legendary on the back, I feel like we could have stayed in that game. Having a 4/6 that could block the constructs. I need to stop. I have a bad habit of belaboring points of the prior game. Like, we all know it was close. We all know we just needed a meltdown. Let's put it to bed. Oh, what about Lasui's sacrifice? Can I cut this? Or Louisu? Counter magic is generally quite good against reanimator decks, so I'll keep that. Damn. Yeah, let's go with 2 lightning bolts. I need strong cards. But yeah, perhaps things that make my opponent discard cards are a little dicey, so let's also cut Kefka. Huh. Mulligan. Although it's close. Yeah, it's not that bad. I'm prepared for a Bowmaster Mirror. I'm prepared for a fast Reanimator draw. Ghost Vacuum is fine. I think I spooked them a little bit. Basic Island means they can't go into Reanimate next turn, so I'm pretty comfortable just casting a Ponder here. Yeah, this is all good stuff. I should probably think about drawing a land soon, though. I'm going to take the Fatal Push over the Red Blast. Ghost Vacuum takes a Ponder. Brainstorm. Ah, they hit the fetch land. I mean, they probably already had it, let's be honest. No Thoughtseize, though. It might be wise to brainstorm right now. I would potentially lose my blue card for force. I do. Okay, I put these back then, in that case. Pyroblast is my new force. Like if they combo, I'll surgical. If they force, then I have Red Blast. So that's that. Man, I'm never going to transform Emet-Selch with this Ghost Vacuum hanging out. Don't see it happening. Sparaglyph. Oh yeah, baby. A lightning boltable Baraglyph. That is uncommon. Sewers. Force. Yeah, Bennett. Draw another one. Alright. Weird to get basic mountain, but it's kind of just what we're doing here. They pitch Murktide Regent. This is really working out. Oh, never mind. It's not working out at all. Oh, crap. That's bad. They have no cards. And their Baraglyph is still only a 2-3, but it'll probably be bigger after it connects next turn. Thoughtseize, yep. It's even bigger now. Taking a copy of Bowmasters, yep, that makes their Baraglyph bigger. Hopefully they don't get another creature, but that seems like really wishful thinking. Yeah, they get frickin' Bowmasters. Ugh. Killing me right now. Absolutely killing me. So we're seeing how difficult it is to beat this deck, seeing as, like, if they did do a Reanimator combo, like, Surgical and all that would have been enough, but since they did a fair plan, Double Force was enough, because Surgical wasn't relevant. That's hard to stomach. It's been like 2 solid years of blue-black Reanimator dominance. Is it ever gonna end? Okay. I don't think I'd change anything. I had everything I wanted. I'll take a third Thoughtseize on the play. It just didn't... It didn't go my way, alright? I felt all cocky when I saw the Ghost Vacuum, the Fatal Push, the Pyroblast on the Force. Didn't work out. I should have... I mean, if I wanted to win that game, I would have had to kind of go off script and get rid of one of the Bowmasters or the Surgical Extraction, keep the Force, and then force them back. But come on, who plays like that? Which is why information is so key when you're fighting this deck. If I knew I didn't have to care about their combo at all, then I would have done that. But then they could also top deck it. It's just kind of rough when a deck is able to so effectively pressure you from tempo and combo angles. And I think that's why this deck will always be the best deck in Legacy until appropriate actions are taken. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have time to branch out with Vivi here. It's going to be a Kuja game. Cast Ponder. Hide the Bowmasters. I hope they don't reanimate my Kuja, though. That would be quite good. But if they Thoughtseize me and take Kuja, I don't think that would be most people's first choice. I should brainstorm right now. I mean, that line lost me the game last time, but... put 2 lands back. At least I have a Force. Sewers, putting a card on top. Dalthy Voidwalker. Surveil, Delta to the graveyard. Yikes. Alright, cast Ponder. That's good stuff. Go like that. Play Volcanic Island. I don't have a blue card for Force anymore. I really hope that is not a problem. Like if they combo this turn, they're just going to reanimate that one, sure. I guess it could have been worse. They've been Rainforest. I could double Bowmasters this Voidwalker, but they could daze. Like a lot of things could really go wrong here. So I'm just going to sit back. I could also cast Kuja. I'd shuffle away the Snapcaster Mage, but I feel like I do need to kind of progress my plan here a little bit. Otherwise, I will be in a lot of trouble. It's worth a Force of Will. That's kind of cool. If they use Voidwalker to cast Kuja, they don't. They have Baragwipe instead. Well, definitely in trouble. Force of Will is too late. So now my army is chumping Baragwipe, which is terrible. I guess if they brainstorm, might be able to catch him here. Yeah, let's ping that. Block Baragwipe. Tight. Another Baragwipe. This is trash. Well, that worked. Makes me feel like this Force will also work. Oh, they have another Force. Damn. I wonder if their combo's even in their deck anymore. I look like a fool with this Surgical, but you have to respect it. Maybe I was supposed to just extract Force of Wills. Such a bad play. Oh man, it's not usually a good sign when the deck is like requiring you to make bad plays. Usually means it's probably pretty broken. God, this is not good. I don't have a sweeper. Alright, I'm out of here. Well, I mean, game one was sweet, right? I don't think I'm going to look back on these days and lament Reanimator being gone if it ever does go. Welcome back. Round 4. Yeah. It's not an exciting hand, but it's got lands. Usually our lands let us have some mobility with Brainstorm as well, but not the case this time. But we'll see. We'll just play Island and pass. I'd rather play around Wasteland than hold up Lightning Bolt. A lot of the scenarios where I'd want a Lightning Bolt on turn 1, I'd also want to play around Daze. But we'll see. If they just Necro Dominance combo me right now, I'm going to wish that I had Bolt. Actually, that's not true. I'd want to Brainstorm and try and hit Force of Will. I feel like my 4 looks at Force of Will is more valuable than them drawing 3 less cards for their combo. Ancient Tomb into Painter's Servant. Choosing blue. If they Spirit Guide Red Blast my land, I'd be very sad. But yeah, spending mana seems important. I'm going to do the dreaded turn 1 Brainstorm. It seems fruitful this time. Now let's put this Badlands back. Pretty sure all my lands are going to be making red pretty soon, if you know what I mean. But, yeah, I wish I could afford to get a swamp. Maybe I'll be able to. Let's see. They're not representing any red mana. And I'm sure they'll have some next turn, so maybe it makes the most sense to just bolt right now. Yeah, we'll go for it. It worked. Now we'll have the pleasure of seeing what they follow this up with. If they go Blood Moon, that'd be kind of rough. If they go Saga and don't have additional artifacts, we can somewhat keep up with that. Playing a Painter out like that on turn 1 does make it seem like they have Saga. Unless they have Grindstone in hand. There you go. Spirit Guiding out a One Ring? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're going to have to try to aggro them out. Although I did just hit Force Blue card. Yeah, I should probably do that instead. Even though this Ancient Tomb start, it's tempting to try and exploit that. It just doesn't normally go your way. I'll draw lands the next 2 turns. It's gonna really hurt, but it's not good if they get a 1-ring. It really isn't. Despite me having double Bowmasters, it's just not gonna go the way you want it to. It already is gonna go that way because of Ancient Tomb. Great Furnace would be the worst case scenario here. It's just a mountain. I'd also like to point out how blessed it is that I hit another, a lightning bolt in the midst. Yeah, we're in trouble now. There's only 1 basic swamp in this build. I don't know if I'll ever get used to this Urza's Saga, just not losing to Blood Moon. There's a lot of black cards in this deck too. We're in trouble. I guess I could draw Vivi, and that would be okay. Also, it will be a couple turns before their constructs can stand up to my 1/1s, my mighty 1/1s. They're gonna bolt my Bowmasters, sure. I'm glad they did that after damage, though. This is the 3rd matchup this league that I really want the meltdowns. Super interesting. Grindstone, you got it. That's pretty rough. Yep, just more black cards. Man, it's so frickin' weird. This is so strange. Blood Moon, not what it used to be. 1 card left over there. We'll get entirely ground out by this Blood Moon Urza's Saga interaction, unfortunately. Unless something pretty drastic happens. Tamiyo. That feels like a way forward. Having to draw the Edict will be bad. But this is literally anything. Yeah, I'm really feeling the full force of this interaction now. Urza's Saga also showed up pretty big against the lands. Although they had to do it the old-fashioned way with Thespian Stage. There's the bolt. And then I have to use a clue to draw through that Edict, which is not good. If I just use my bolts on them, they'd still be at 11 because I wouldn't have attacked with the army. They'd be at 5 right now? I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll just crack 2 clues next turn and flip Tamiyo. That seems better. And then I have to do this right now. No Disruptor Flute. They're gonna grind themselves, giving up on a 1-ring. And a Karn. Really glad they didn't get that Karn. I need these clue tokens to stay in this game. Goblin Welder. I can almost beat that. I really do not have much going on here. There's no Brazen Borrower. I think that's the card I've missed the most in this league. All things considered. Urza's Saga. Still a mountain. Alright. Don't need to worry about a blowout. But they will just win as soon as that Welder untaps. So I'm wondering if I'm even supposed to do any of this. Activate. Activate. We've lost Kolgon's command. It would be good. Should have gotten my basic swamp, it turns out. Alright, Yuffie, Meltdown, Fatal Push, Opposition Agent, Consign to Memory. Real reason to cut Go-Go here, because it's a blue card against the main board Red Blast deck. I think same with Emet-Selch and Vivi. probably Kefka as well. I don't want to cut all the new cards. Louis Sacrifice, though. 3 mana to counter Chapter 2 of Saga is just not good enough. When you're not drawing a card and it still can get red blasted, that's not Nimble Obstructionist numbers, folks. It's just not. Thoughtseize. And a couple Force of Wills. That'll do it. Take the play. Keeping this hand with Yuffie. I want that One Ring again. A little less effective than it was against Karnforge Ring, though, because they have Lightning Bolt in this deck. Probably going for that dreaded turn 1 Brainstorm again. I want my basics. I have a Guaranteed Shuffle lined up. Seems entirely fine. Got an Ancient Tomb. A Lotus Petal. Turn 1 Painter again. Island Brainstorm. Uh-oh. Maybe I can treat this as my red source. It doesn't work for right now, though. I need to bolt this right away. I'll redraw the Bowmasters. They showed me Welder last round. Okay, Ponder first. Shuffle that. Let's bolt that. They'll put me in a bad spot if they cast the One Ring. Maybe I should have just taken that land. It just felt so underwhelming. If they cast the One Ring, I don't think I can afford to force it. I think Ancient Tomb, double Bowmasters. There's some consolation if the Yuffie plan does not materialize. However, if I get Bowmasters in, at least it's pretty likely I'll be able to ninjutsu it. Mountain. Welder. This is looking good so far. Now they're passing. Oh my god. Things are really working out this time. So beautiful. They're not going to have a situation like last time. I'm going to have a basic swamp. It's going to be sick. And even a little nasty. I wonder if I'm supposed to just Yuffie take that Lotus Petal. So they're kind of light on stuff. Chaos Defiler. Force of Will. Close one. Welder off a Spirit Guide. Well, I do have another Bowmasters. I was hoping to hit a Construct with it, but having that stick around is too dangerous. Not a great draw. Something funny that Yuffie can do is steal Grindstone. They'll probably tutor that off Urza's Saga Chapter 3. And if they ever put a Painter in play, unless they're also playing Emrakul, or some Eldrazi Titan, yeah, Yuffie will be able to, or that Grindstone can be turned on them. In fact, if they play a Painter here, and I draw a land, oh my god, is this going to happen? Am I going to lose first before that happens? Yeah. Crap. Yeah, they need to block with Painter Servant. I mean, maybe they won't go for it, I don't know. I mean, they'll definitely go for it on my upkeep, though, so, yeah, we're kind of screwed. Earlier on in that Ponder, I saw Opposition Agent. Should have taken that. Hard times. Maybe I shouldn't have forced the Chaos Defiler. I mean, that presents its own set of problems, you know? A 5/4 that just takes out one of your units. It's pretty bad. We fought hard. Yeah, they're floating mana. I feel like there's almost no way out of this. They're even doing it right now. Yeah, I wish I had waited to fight this, but I just don't. Oh man. We're 1-3. Got one more to go. Alright, let's make this last one count. I gotta say, I'm a little deflated after how awesome the first match was. Well, the second match was awesome too. It just happened to not break on our side. But yeah, the last two, I mean, I don't expect games against Blue-Black Reanimator to be that interesting. But the last round just felt like the deck wasn't like working. I'd go as far to say I'm a little, unfortunately, a little cocky about my Red Painter matchup. Like, how many times have you been playing a combo deck and you go for it and your opponent has 2 cards in hand and 4 mana up and it just works? No Fatal Push, no Kolaghan's Command. I already used a couple of Lightning Bolts, but it just shouldn't work that way. Felt like the deck wasn't working. Opponent's keeping me in the dark, though. Ooh, Midgar. I don't have another... Oh, I do have a blue card. It's Emet-Selch. Is that okay to pitch to force? I feel like I should try to exhibit this card. Not to mention, it loots when it enters. I mean, thinking about it, that's just 100 times worse than Baleful Strix. Baleful Strix straight up draws a card when it enters. Bowmasters, not bad. Might get to live the Midgar dream here. Sacrifice my army, draw 2, and then make a land drop. Opponent's got a Hedge Maze. Most likely Cephalid Breakfast, but could be a few other things too. We'll see. Oh, Mistrise Village? Never mind. This is like a show and tell deck. My Force of Will is not going to be very helpful there. Stock up. I think I do force this because I don't think I'll have another opportunity to use it. I think Mistrise Village will be online after that. Yeah, I'll pitch Emet-Selch. Obviously, you'd much rather pitch or cast Force of Will against Show and Tell or the spells that really matter, but I don't think I'll have the opportunity. Speaking of the opportunity, I feel like I should Shatter Lotus Petal and have them discard here. But it also makes sense to get Bowmasters on board and just bolt them. But I feel like I'm kind of in danger right now. It would be nice to set them back a little bit. It would have been much better to get a Kaito in. That is not something this deck does. I think weirdly, if they discard a land... Oh, they discard Veil of Summer. They didn't want to Veil my Kolaghan's Command? I find that pretty suspicious. Force of Will's back. But not doing much. Speaking of not doing much, I think I'm going to sacrifice my Strix, draw 2, and play Midgar. Am I? I already have Edict, so like... Yeah, I think I'm going to... No. I'm going to cast Bowmasters and probably just bolt them too. Yeah, their combo's not coming together yet. That's good. Bowmasters, ping, bolt. This still might not be fast enough. I feel like I really need Thoughtseize here. Oh, Reanimate's not bad either, though. Wait, well, it's not good yet. Alright, hit for 3. And then, yeah, we'll Reactor Raid here. I think I will sacrifice Strix, actually, because that turns on Reanimate. Ooh, it's Thoughtseize, but I can't cast it off this island or tapped land. Oh, and I didn't get a blue card for Force either. That's pretty bad. I just need one more turn. One more turn. Oh god, they're pondering. Unless they hit something really specific, though. They might not try to go off until they can also use Mistrise Village on their spell. But they also might feel like they don't have time to wait. Because I'm getting a Bowmaster trigger here, and I previously bolted them. I don't know, this could really go either way. Or maybe they'll just shuffle. They do not shuffle. Shit. They didn't Veil. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to set up just a little bit more. Blue card? Another Thoughtseize. Ooh, boy. Well, now I really do feel like I need forced backup. Because if I get Veil on the first Thoughtseize, that'd be a disaster. Let's not get greedy and try and like Thoughtseize and attracts out of their hand. I already did that once this league with the Archon. That was great. Let's just chill. Great. All right. Thoughtseize you. Tight. Take Cunning Wish. Play out this land. So I can beat that Spell Pierce, and then take your Omniscience. And they should be a couple turns out from comboing. Oh, I almost took the Spell Pierce. A little trigger happy over here. I think if they cast Stock Up, I think I'll just force that too if they give me the opportunity. They might use Mistrise Village on it. The One Ring. Force of Will. That leaves them with Spell Pierce. Now, I feel like they can still stock up into something pretty nasty, but hopefully Shielder's Edict will buy me a turn, and then I can just overrun an Emrakul or something. We'll see if it even comes to that. And begrudgingly, I should play the Swamp out too, so I can beat 2 Spell Pierces with this Shielder's Edict. But yeah, I'm hoping they just like, you know, draw a 1-for-1 and concede. Perfect. Okay. Another ring matchup. You know what that means. Yuffie is back. Having a 3-3 is also just totally fine. Never got to cast Kefka. Well, I shouldn't say never. There's still potentially 2 more games here in this league. Take Consign, Surgical, Thoughtseize, Triple Red Blast. Fire Magic never came up either. I never played against like that. Ocelot Pride Sand Scout Scat deck that is so popular right now. Usually very good against Grixis Control and has legit make me want to play a sweeper. I actually trophied earlier today. Really came down to the wire. There's like 1 hour left in the league, and I was packing Plague Engineer. So if you look at my most recent result, most likely most recent result, I don't think I'll trophy before Friday when this comes out. Yeah, you'll see a Plague Engineer in the 75, which a lot of people on my Discord appreciated. It's a really cool card. They're like an Omniscience Cunning Wish build, so let's cut Reanimate until further notice. And 1 Kolaghan's Command is fine. Go. Yeah, we're keeping Go in for the final match. A Lightning Bolt. You could say like, oh, it was pretty good to take a turn off the clock in that game. Yes, but it's kind of like a last-ditch effort. We just get better tools post-side that can actually combat the deck in ways that are better. Kuja, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do all this. Kuja feels like a really good grindy card, but doesn't really generate card advantage in the way you want for this kind of matchup. Like, I'd love it against Bug Beanstalk, but against Sneak and Show, I think we'll go without Kuja. Last cut can just be Lightning Bolt. It's fine. Oh, this build might have Intuition. We saw Cunning Wish. Actually, I feel like most of them are off Intuition now. They're just playing Stock Up instead. Opponent's taking a mulligan. I will join them. Sure, yeah. Thoughtseize is great. Bottom, one of the Badlands. Never know when you'll need a shuffle effect. And then we'll just have Sephiroth beatdown, I guess. Thoughtseize you. Take, I don't know, a Ponder? That seems very silly. I think I'll just take Omniscience, take the combo piece. They're gonna activate, probably get Hedge Maze, which is why they didn't cast Ponder on turn 1. Put a card on top. We might have Thoughtseize bugged them into another Omniscience. That's still only half their combo. They also need another land, so things aren't so bad. Mistrise Village, Ponder, hoping for a shuffle as always. So Bowmaster's into Sephiroth, not quite Kaito, since Kaito dodges the stack. Carpet. But I will say it's a little easier on the mana. It's just black and 2 generic, whereas Kaito is black, blue, and generic. So I can turn my orc army into a card doing this, which is pretty cool. Ponder, we're just going to cast Bowmasters. That way we don't have to give them any carpet mana. I do think Force of Will is what would tie this all together though, so if Sephiroth can come up with that, that would be great. A lot of unknowns for my opponent. I suppose if I top deck a blue card, it would be more safe to just ponder and look for some kind of help. Because yeah, they didn't shuffle off of 2 ponders. That is extremely concerning. Sephiroth puts more power on board though. I don't think we're ever going to have enough creatures to really leverage Sephiroth in this deck, but in a grindy matchup, or a grindy mirror, getting this emblem seems like it could really do a lot of damage in a long game. This is not really the right matchup though, because I'm barely destroying any of their creatures. They're not destroying any of mine. If anything, they're just countering them. And yeah, we did not hit on the blue card anyways. But Ponder could also find something like Thoughtseize, Red Blast. I'm just going to get more on board. Attack first, because this is a 2-2. It doesn't even really feel like I'm getting that much more on board though, because I'm turning it 2-2 into a 3-3. I don't know. But I do drain. It's fine. But it's not anything more than fine. Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier. I'll be very happy if they force this. I guess I'm also playing around Spell Pierce by playing Sephiroth. Sephiroth. Yuffie. Well, they haven't played a ring yet, so that was cool. Sephiroth. If they show and tell out a 1 ring, I suppose I will put Yuffie in. Does that make sense? Not really. It only makes sense if they show and tell in a 1 ring, which I don't think they would do. Is it time to feed the carpet? I fear so. I fear it is. Hope this isn't the difference between life and death. Ponder. Surgical Extraction? If I extract Omniscience, are we in pretty good shape? Maybe. Should I ninjutsu? Just for the damage? Nah. I'd rather keep Bowmasters around, I think. Alright, we'll act on their upkeep if they don't spend any mana here. They don't. Okay. Well. Do I soften up their hand? I don't think that makes sense. I think I'd rather just play around Spell Pierce. Which I guess means I'm acting on their draw step. Dropping below 15 is a little dangerous. They could Cunning Wish for Surgical and extract the Omniscience I'm targeting. But this is something of a time walk, is it not? Yeah, this is exactly what they do. And also, I'll have to pay 2 life for that? Pretty good, but I also don't get any information this way. Alright, before they can make a land drop and Veil, let's just go ahead and Kolgon's command here. And then hopefully I have lethal next turn, thanks to Yuffie. I can't say Sephiroth did an immense amount in this game, but he was a 3-3 that attacked and drew me a card. Yeah, they're going to scoop it up. That was a pretty underwhelming result, but I mean, you shouldn't really expect much when you're playing completely untested random cards. I'm really sad that I never got to use Kefka, so I guess we'll have to do a Kefka video. We also never got to see Emet-Selch go off, which is, I guess, understandable because 14 cards is kind of a lot. Never used Go-Go. Never cast Louis Sue's Sacrifice. But we got to see some cool stuff. Like Lindblom was really cool, and Midgar was very, very cool. Yeah, very positive utility with that. Kuja, I think, would have been cool. We just needed a meltdown to kind of reset the board there and get ahead. I thought the Strix was really going to level the playing field, but then Caracas made it so that it was kind of like they were getting two constructs a turn because I was continually getting set back. And I don't think I'll ever really have enough mana to make Go-Go really good because not only will I have to cast something that create a triggered or activated ability, but I'll also have to have the mana and Go-Go not be summoning sick. I guess if I had the stuff that passively triggered like Kuja, maybe it would work out, but we can consider this one maybe not for Grixis Control definitively. Sephiroth, same deal. We're just never going to have enough creatures to really make this a value engine. We need our creatures. Even orc armies are barely expendable. Midgar is a little more forgiving since you can use clue tokens and whatnot. But I'm mostly just disappointed that we never got to cast Kefka and see that in action. But it makes sense. It was a one of. So maybe next week I'll do two of Kefka, see how that does. And like I said during the deck tech, I think there's something here with Grixis Black Mages maybe. More Lindblom, Vivi, Kuja. There's some kind of synergy there, and it's in Grixis colors. But I'm not entirely sure what that is yet. I think this was pretty standard for a release week video. I know the Aether Drift 1 also went 2-5, and I guess like results shouldn't be even in the consideration for these videos because we're just seeing what these cards do. None of them ever claim to be at a legacy power level. We're just seeing what they do. In the sideboard, I know I mentioned during the last match too, I never had the opportunity to sight in Fire Magic, which is unfortunate. I want to keep testing that one out. And Yuffie was by far the most impressive card this league, I'm pretty sure. Vivi only really went off when it was supported by a lot of cards via the One Ring, and I was making all my land drops, and it also looked extra impressive because I already had the Black Mage off Mage Siege, so it was like pinging twice per non-creature spell. I think Yuffie was by far the most impressive card here, and one that we can weave into the main Grixis Control deck and see how it does. Yeah, overall, this was a lot of fun, of course. I never really felt like we got to play versus Red Painter and then Blue-Black Reanimator. It was fun taking that Archon, but overall, if you're just looking at this video to see which cards to try out in Grixis Control, I would say definitely Yuffie, maybe Kuja, maybe Vivi, because I think this card is just clearly incredibly powerful at a high power level. And then I'll say like Midgar is also pretty good. Lindblom was good. Yeah, we'll just say it was good. That was a good card. And then Kefka, TBD. Cool. Thanks for sticking with me. Check out the Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe. Final Fantasy rules forever. And yeah, I'll see you next time.